Hey everyone, this is Mason. Welcome back to the Herb Rally Podcast. Today's episode is with Suzanne Tabert, longtime contributor to the Herb Rally Podcast, amongst other things. I know she's written a couple monographs for us as well. You can check out all of our monographs at herbrally.com/monographs. There's 60 plus, I think closing in on 70 lengthy, well-written, epic, as we say, monographs, including some of Suzanne's. So check those out, herbrally.com/monographs. But today's episode is just 4.5 minutes or so on the plant Pearly Everlasting. I find this plant quite beautiful, and I remember when I was in Columbine School of Botanical Studies, first learning about it, we ended up drying bundles of them, and I had it hanging on my wall probably for 6 or 7 years. So its name definitely makes sense. So thank you, Suzanne, for contributing this audio. These are some of my favorite episodes. I love the ones where it's just focused on one plant in particular, and even just 4.5 minutes will do for me. But also, before we get into the show, I wanted to remind you that between now and February 28th, you could sign up for our new membership site. It's called the Herb Rally Schoolhouse, and it's $10 a month. But between now and February 28th, you could use coupon code FREESCHOOL at checkout and get your first 30 days for free, and that will automatically enter you to win a gift basket worth $210. For full details on that and to register, just go to herbrally.com/schoolhouse. And that's going to do it for me today. Thanks so much for listening, and thanks one more time to Suzanne, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Yes. Pearly Everlasting, the botanical name is Anaphalis margaritacea. It's a plant in the aster family. Of course it is. One of the most ubiquitous plants here in the Pacific Northwest. And we see it growing at the sea level. We see it growing up in the mountains. It's one of those plants that grow in the scrub. So, if there's an environmental event that occurred, like a landslide or a fire or construction, putting in a road, a tree cutting, the Pearly Everlasting will come in and it will help to repair the area and add nutrients so that when the bigger plants come, they've got good fertile soil to come into. And if you notice the flowers, it's called Pearly Everlasting because it looks like pearls. I think they look like hard-boiled eggs. That's just me. And the everlasting part is because if you feel it, it feels like a straw flower. It feels like it's dried already. And so that is what it does inside the body. It dries out where there's extra, maybe lymphatic fluid, extra mucus in the lungs and the sinuses. So it's a wonderful decongestant. And I use the flowers, I use the leaves and the stems. You can dry the whole plant and make a tea out of it. Now, if we're congested and it's hard to blow our nose or it's hard to cough up, that's because, the mucus might be thick or we have inflammation that's preventing us from being able to, expel the mucus. And so the plant will help to shrink the tissues and kind of act like a sponge, right? Because it'll squeeze the tissues in a way, you think about it that way, that, it shrinks the tissues. As if we squeeze a sponge, water comes out, right? So with the Pearly Everlasting, what's going to happen is it's going to shrink the tissues and allow that mucus to come up and out. Right? So that's such a good thing. And I like to make it a tea over a tincture or any other way of utilizing it, because if we're congested, chances are we could be dehydrated as well. And we don't want to over dehydrate ourselves, because then what's going to happen? It's going to be hard to get that mucus out. So we need the water to make it thinner. And so what I do, I dry the whole plant at about 95 degrees until not just 12 hours. I see so many people say, I dried it for 12 hours and it seemed dry. Well, what you want is when you take the thickest part of the plant, you bend it. If it bends at all, that means it's not dry yet. If it just snaps, I call that snappy dry, that means it's dry enough and you can put it in your jars and keep it out of the sun and out of the light, and it'll keep for a good year. And you can utilize that plant then during cough and cold season, during allergy seasons, and it's a good plant to help you get the junk up and out. Also, too, if during fires, when there's a lot of particulates in the air, and our lungs are just full of that, and our mucus is in there trying to trap all the particulates, and we're trying to get it out. Pearly Everlasting is such a good help for that.
And that's going to do it for today's episode. Thanks so much for listening to the Herb Rally podcast. Before you go, I wanted to let you know about 7 herbal freebies that you could get from Herb Rally. If you want to check them out, just go to herbrally.com. In the top navigation area, you'll see it says freebies. Just click on that. It'll take you to a page where you can sign up for our newsletter. And we send around 1 to 4 newsletters per week, updating you about herbalism events, new podcasts, monographs, YouTube videos. You get the idea. But a little more about the 7 herbal freebies. That's a video with Bevan Clare. It's called 5 Herbal Events Around the World, kind of like a herbalism bucket list, if you will. It also comes with an ebook by Rosalie de la Foyer on calendula. It's an 86-page ebook provided exclusively to Herb Rally, created by Plant Healer Magazine. It also comes with an hour-long adaptogens class. That's an audio MP3 by herbalist Heather Irvine. Also comes with a 36-page book excerpt, also from Plant Healer. It's called Nourishing Foods. It's awesome. And then it comes with 2 discounts, 15% off all Mountain Rose Herbs products and 10% off the Herb Rally store. So one more time to check that out, go to herbrally.com. And the top navigation area, you'll see something that says freebies. Just click on there and you'll get more info about that. Okay, I will talk to you later. Have a great day.